Hello and welcome to the Afri Dominion Show. My name is Freeman Singirankabo, and thank you so very much for joining our program today. Those of you joining us live, especially if you're joining us live from social media in particular, either Facebook, YouTube, or some of the other social media that we actually broadcast on, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so thrilled and so excited to see that you have taken some time off your busy schedule just to join our conversation today. That goes for the same of you joining us live from the television and radio station. We are super humbled for the opportunity to speak with you and for you to also join the conversation. We have Zoom open, which is one of our main platforms that we use to connect with you guys directly from the studio here, so that you can actually have a saying in our conversation in real time and as it happens. For those reasons, everything that we get to discuss with each and every one of you, anywhere that you may be, we speak with you frankly, we speak with you boldly, and we speak with no apologies. Why? Because every conversation that we get to have here, it's a very frank conversation, and it is very dear to our hearts. We care very deeply about the things we get to discuss with each and every one of you. And we always, and we can actually promise, every single broadcast, every single program that we have here, we actually have it in the spirit of truth, love, and trust. And these are the benchmarks by which we can expect that all of us here, our team, that we can also ask you to expect each and every one of us to adhere upon. We also would want that if you do come to the studio, and if you come to share with us and to hang out with us, you also get to be bound by those benchmarks. Truth, love, and trust. Are we together? And it is for this reason that we also welcome all of your feedbacks. Let us know if we are actually standing upon those benchmarks that we have set for ourselves. Also, do get in touch with us so you can have an opportunity to literally let us know, hey, I like this program, or I do not care for that program. So we can also get to have an opportunity to make some changes accordingly. We can get some opportunity to be more effective, because everything we do here, we do it voluntarily. Nobody tells us to do it. We do it because we believe in what it does, in the results that it gives, that it yields. And so we want to make sure that we continue to utilize our time efficiently and effectively. And we also expect that you can join in the conversation, you can join in these various activities that we have going on, so that we can continue to be helpful to our own people. We do this every single day, 5 business days, non-stop. We're only off 2 days. But even with those 2 days, we're actually off camera doing some other works. So we really care deeply about everything that we do. And we want you not to take our word for it, actually put us to a scale. Test everything that we do and see if it actually speaks, or they speak for themselves. That is the very least we can expect from you. And with that in mind, we would love very much to jump right in our conversation by first and foremost telling you just a little bit about what is Afri Dominion as a show, but also what is Afri Dominion itself, because those are two different things, but they somewhat are interconnected. So I may start with, for those of you who aren't familiar, what is Afri Dominion? So Afri Dominion, it's an idea that inspires, advocates, encourages, and even helps. It helps you, sons and daughters, African descendants, to take a full dominion of Africa, one nation at a time, for the purpose and for the interest of our brothers and sisters, our African brothers and sisters primarily, and the rest of the world afterwards. So that's what the idea is about. You make sure that you inspire, you advocate for your people, you encourage and actually be a part of that helping hand with you taking a full dominion of Africa, a full control of Africa, full management of African resources with no apologies to nobody. That you can expect to see here. That's the idea that drives us every single day. So the African Dominion Show, it's a mouthpiece of this idea. On this program and all the programs that we have queued or that we have programmed to actually bring to you, you can expect that those programs should and must be programs that, of which inspire, of which encourages, of which advocate, and of which help you to take the full dominion of Africa, one nation at a time, by you, sons and daughters, and African descendants, all in the interest of our people, our brothers and sisters, first and foremost, and then the rest of the world afterwards. I know it may sound so complicated to most of you, because you might say, oh, blah, 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 this is just another one of those ideas. We've heard so many of ideas like those. What's so unique about you guys? The unique thing about us, it's that we have it in our heart. We have the will, the manpower, and the desire to see it through, no matter how tough it can be. No matter how tough it can be. And because of such a bold move or bold idea or bold actions that we have decided that we're going after. So we have taken upon ourselves to actually break down our days of broadcast into themes. We have 5 major themes that we have all our programmings pretty much engulfed in. And these 5 different themes will actually tell you what to expect on every single day that we have, that we are doing broadcast. And those themes go as follows. On Mondays, we have a themes that actually talk about the eradication of refugees, of African refugees to be specific, and African stateless persons. Here we get to actually take a flashlight and literally look for all our brothers and sisters who are refugees and stateless person. How do you become a refugee in your own nation or on the continent of Africa when you are a native? How do you become a stateless person as if you don't have anywhere that you belong? Today, those words are the new norm, even though we don't believe in such thing as a new norm. These are choices that we make. These are choices that actually result or bring us to those ends. So because we care deeply about you and I, about our own communities, we have to become the solutions of the issues that we have today. We have to work hard for it. We have to sweat hard for it. And we have to shed tears for it. Other foreigners are not going to do it for us. They have their own burdens that they have to actually cater for first and foremost. So why can't you also say, hey, listen, this is my first and foremost idea. This is what I have to go after first and foremost. And make no apologies about it. For instance, right now, for those of you, when you see what's happening in Ukraine, Ukrainians are not apologetic about helping themselves first and foremost. No matter how ill will you may see their own action, they say we come first and we come first and foremost. So if they can boldly say that, and if they can actually pull that into action, and with no apologies to nobody, why can you not do the same? So on Tuesdays, we also have another theme. In our Tuesday themes, we get to talk about the Constitution, the law and policy review and implementations. Again, these are African constitutions, African laws, and African policies. Again, do not be afraid by these fancy words. It makes you feel so intelligent, but that's another way that we actually get confused. Someone can throw some intelligence at you or some intelligent words, and then you feel lost because that's not a language that you are very fluent in. So we have taken it upon ourselves to actually attack all these fancy words that are tossed around our communities, and we break down in a language that we understand. Who are you impressing if you're speaking a language that your own people cannot understand? Are you actually communicating to your own people, or you try to communicate to those people who speak the same language? So I know that our people, we have that dilemma. We want to feel intelligent because the majority of us, we've been enslaved for so long that we want to look like the other people. We want to take on other people's images instead of our own images. That's sickness. That is absolutely a disease that we have to get rid of. And there is no other ways to do that except through our own selves. On Wednesdays, we get to talk about our testimony. We get to have an opportunity to write our own history by our own selves, without anybody narrating our own history, without anybody telling us what to do, what to say, or how to say it. I love Wednesdays. I also love other days, but on Wednesday, it's a little extra. You can speak your heart. You can speak on behalf of your own people. You can speak on behalf of the voiceless, brothers and sisters all over. African brothers and sisters, to be specific. Again, we make no apologies about it because we have to learn to love ourselves before other people can love us. If you do not love yourself, how can you expect someone else to love you? So we got to start by our own selves. Whatever we want to do to others, we do it to ourselves first and foremost. On Thursdays, we get to talk about the spirit of dominion. Why dominion? Why this word dominion? Dominion, it's a very strong word and very responsible word. Dominion entails taking a full control of something. In this case, we're talking about taking a full control of Africa, taking the responsibility of Africa, taking the management of Africa and African resources, taking the full management of ourselves, the full organization of ourselves, protecting our own investments by any means necessary and with no apologies. Nurture everything that we have. We protect it, we nurture it, and we make it better. Much, much better than we found it. Those are the words that actually entail what dominion is. You cannot make something better if you do not understand it. You cannot make something better if you do not submit to it. And have a harmony with that thing. It is one of those relationships that is not one way, it's two-way relationship. Hence, all of us, we must be able to understand it in order for that to have some sort of benefit, to be of benefit, to become beneficial to each and every one of us. On Fridays, we get to talk about the current events and its impact to Africa and African people. Fridays are also a pretty good day because we have various brothers and sisters all over who actually set the agenda for us. They might send us something to talk about, and they might literally tell us, hey, this is what I feel about this issue. This is the knowledge I have about this issue. What have you said? What do you have to say about all of this? Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that you are still afraid. You constantly want us to be the one breaking the eggs. You constantly want us to be the one go in front of the hot gun. You constantly want us to go in front of that fire. You yourselves don't want to go first and foremost. We also do acknowledge it's not for everyone. It takes another kind of energy for you to get in front of the gun and be the one to be shot at. It takes a different kind of gifting to be the one sacrificing before others. We understand that this is not for everyone. However, each and every one of us is born a king and a queen. You are naturally leaders. You are naturally kings and queens. That is who you are naturally. So you do not have to be taught what you already are. However, you have to awaken what you are. You have to put some energy into it so that it can manifest itself. So all the things that we do it because it is our true selves. You don't have to fake it to make it. You know, fake it until you make it kind of thing. There's no need to fake who you truly are. I can fake to be something else I'm not. But when I'm in my own element, I do not have to fake it. I'll give you a perfect example. Look at a bird. When a bird is flying, it needs not fake its flight. It naturally flies. And it can fly for hours and hours and hours. Try to fly. Not only you do not have that ability naturally, but you have to use some sort of mechanical assistance. You can use a plane or whatever it is that looks like a plane. And you've got to learn how to actually fly that thing. Literally, you have to be taught how to do that. And then when you get trusted, then they might actually let you fly by yourselves. Look at the pilot who fly all kinds of airplanes. You cannot just come from the street and go in a cockpit. Nobody will want to fly with you. Certainly I would not. If I know that you have no flight skills in you, and then you have the audacity to go in a cockpit, why would I be that crazy? That's like suicidal mission. And I am certainly not suicidal. Imagine if you have never driven before. However, because you're too cocky or you feel like you want to prove something to somebody, you go on a steering drive. You have no idea how to change gears. You have no idea how the pedals work. You have no idea how to read the sign. You have no idea how to start the engine. None of it. Would you be that crazy to actually go in the same vehicle than that someone? I submit that it would be a hell no. Another animal that I'd like to usually use as an example, a fish. A fish never goes to a swimming class. It naturally swims. And it lives in water with no problem. Try to go in water for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes without any sort of breathing assistance. You die. Because that is not your natural environment to be in. But for a fish, it's right at home. It does that non-stop. When you try to go in the water and swim, first and foremost, you have to learn how to swim. Secondly, you have to have some sort of assistance, especially if you're planning to dive. So it is something that you have to be assisted with. It is not naturally yours. Last but not the least, look at a tree. If you take a fruit or a seed and you plant it in the right environment, you do not need to pray over that seed. You do not need to do all kinds of customs, all kinds of prayers, meetings to beg that seed to grow. Naturally, a seed in the right environment, it's going to become a tree. And that tree, in return, it's going to give you more fruits. And those fruits, have many, many more seeds. That is naturally what what a seed does. It becomes a tree which yields fruits, and the fruits goes right back to yielding more seeds, and the cycle continues non-stop. So what am I saying? Everything that we do have a cycle, which is why today I am so happy to also be confrontational with you a little bit. And this is how I plan, or I'm going to do it. I want to ask you, what kind of a slave will you choose to become? A slave to your gift, or a slave to the people? I really beg that you guys hear me correctly, so you do not misunderstand me. I'm asking you, what kind of a slave will you choose to become? A slave to your gift, or a slave to the people? Secondly, are you a king or a queen who is a master or a servant to the people? What kind of king are you? What kind of queen are you? Do you even understand what that means? Being a master versus a servant, as a king or a queen. And lastly, what do you have to do with any of this? I always ask that question. What is your role in all of this? Why should you care? After all, you have a free will. So that's what I got going on today for you guys. And I beg that all of you don't just jump on right to a conclusion. First and foremost, we have been constantly saying that we are nobody's slaves. We were never born to be slaves to nobody. We were born to be kings and queens, to dominate everything, to subdue everything. That's who you are, that's who I am. Now, the minute you become a slave to another person, you malfunction. Yet, I'm asking you, what kind of a slave will you choose to become? It's sort of contradiction to what I just said. But there is a reason why I'm saying that. And that's what I would love to share with you today. Because the more you self-discover, you realize that some of these words, when they're in the right position, they are more meaningful. For instance, today on planet Earth, we only have a very, very, very few kingdoms. Very, very, very few kingdoms. Why? Because nobody wants to be a slave to a king. The same way I said, I'm even asking you, do you want to be a slave to your gift or to another person? And quite evident, you see that the majority of the people, they have said, hell no, we do not want to be nobody's slaves. So that one is already checked off, which you are left with only another one choice. And that one choice also, I also want you to think about it. We were never given the privilege to dominate other human beings. That is not one of the assignments that you and I are here for. But we have been given the privilege and the mandate to dominate, to have control over everything else on this planet. Birds of the air, fish of the sea, cattle that goes around the planet, other animals that live on planet, as well as all natural resources on planet. All of that is ours to dominate, ours to govern, ours to make better, ours to protect, and ours to nurture, to improve, and to put in it much more context, much more environment than what we found them in. That is our mandate. But we were never given mandate to be rulers of other people, to enslave other people, to become the masters of other people. That is not one of our mandate on this planet. So just like you, I do not want to be nobody's slaves. I am against it. I will fight over it, even to death. You are not going to make me a slave. Yet we know that Africa has been enslaved for so many years by other people. Mainly because we were not seen as full human beings. Funny thing, if it's not that funny, but funny thing. Today, here in the United States, I would love each and every one of you to go read the Constitution and say what they say about you, aka colored people. Darker, brown peoples. I want you to go and read what the Constitution of the United States says about you. Minding you, this Constitution is as old as 246 years old. It's not something that's written right now. It's been in existing for 200 plus years. Yet, we are told that this is the most better form of government that there's ever been on planet Earth. However, in its constitution, they still say something about you, darker people, brownish kind of people, aka black people, or colored people. I'm asking you to go and check it out yourselves. In 2022, check what the Constitution of the United States says about you, brown people. Very important. Yet, as many people as they are here, 300 plus million, how many of those people subscribe to what the Constitution of the United States says specifically to you colored people, brown people? And you wonder, why the discrepancy? Why is there a discrepancy? Look at other governments' constitution all over planet Earth. Especially, look on what some of these powerful nations that we have today say in their own constitution. And I keep on saying, guys, get in a habit to read. A knowledge that you will not actually take some time to infuse in your body, will enslave you to become ignorant. And they usually say that brown people, if you want to hide them in books. Hide anything you don't want a black person to know in books. It may sound so stereotyped, but we have been conditioned not to acquire knowledge, most of us. Not all of us, but most of us. If you hide something in the book and leave that book right there up in the open, there's a pretty good chances that only 90+% of our own people will actually go for that book and be as inquisitive as to what that book entails. Why? We've been programmed like that. That's another form of enslavement, quiet enslavement. We have lost physical shackles, but our mindset, it is still fully shackled up. The majority of us, we are not free mentally. So you could be free physically, but as long as you are still enslaved mentally, you are as good as a shackled up slave. A physically shackled up slave. So what do we have to do to be not only free mentally, but also physically? Get rid of those shackles mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually, so you can become one with yourself, so you can be in the right position. with yourself and your surroundings and your environment. What must we do? What is it that we have to do to unplug from the slavery, from the invisible slavery that we have in the systems that we have today, in the so-called perfect systems that we have today? That is a fight that few of us are fighting today, with intent to unplug, with intent to regain our true freedom, our true freedom, to regain our true identity as king and queens on this planet, and to regain our full dominance of planet Earth and everything in it. So brings me back to that second point. Since you don't want to be a slave, then how can you become or accept to become a slave to your gift? Sort of contradiction, isn't it? If you don't want to be a slave to people, how will you accept to be a slave to your gift? Now, for those of you who aren't sure what a gift is, the gift are these abilities that you have been freely given, that you never had to go to school for it. It's just inside of you. For example, you could be naturally a singer, and you open your mouth and goodness have mercy, I mean, everybody is mesmerized by you. It's like you heal people through through your vocals. You could be an amazing musician naturally. You grab an instrument and you just play it, and you have never went to school for it. You could be naturally a carpenter. You could be naturally an engineer. Case in point, the vehicles you see here, the electricity and a whole lot of these things that have been invented, they were never invented by the people who went to the university. Just in case you guys don't know that. But today we have a new system, whereas for you to qualify to do ABCD, something that isn't your gift, you have to go through a new convention way of learning. You have to acquire certain knowledge. Go to the primary school, secondary school, university, or higher learning. And if you do not have a piece of paper that says, we have checked off this person, he or she has successfully completed these courses, and you will never be respected by nobody. But anything that you know naturally, it has been freely deposited inside of you. That is a gift that you have a full control over, if you so choose. I'll give you another example. Let me see if you guys have really seen people's gifts. I am quite sure that most of you who are watching or listening to me, you know a gentleman they call Mike Tyson. When you hear of Mike Tyson, what comes in your mind? You automatically think of a boxer. Someone who can box. Naturally, he's a boxer. He never had to go to university, high school to learn any of that. He could naturally box. Let me give you somebody else. What comes to mind when you hear of Abedi Pele? Let me do even better. Old school, Maradona. What comes to mind when you hear of those names? You hear of a footballer. Here in the United States, they call them the soccer player. But for us African, football is a football. It's a ball that you play with your foot. For American football, it's a ball that they play with their hands. and they mix a little bit of foot with it. So that's why they call ours soccer, but for us is the true football. The rest of the world is the true football. So when you hear of Maradona or Abedi Pele, you literally feel like, okay, that's a legend. Let me just throw another one. What do you hear when you hear of a name, Michael Jordan? Or Shaquille O'Neal? Or LeBron James? What comes to mind when you hear of those names? You immediately think of basketball. Even if you don't watch basketball, you know that that person is straight out a legend when it comes to that particular sport. Let me give you another one, last one. When we mention Tiger Woods, what comes to mind? You immediately think of a golfer who's like the most amazing dude in golf. Now, what do they all have in common? These are natural gifts that they have had. They never had to go to school to learn basketball. They never had to go to school to learn boxing. They never had to go to school to learn golf. They naturally were those players in those different fields. The schools, the universities, they took advantage of their gifting and they actually accepted them. They literally embraced them. Because when you awaken your gift, your gifts open doors to all kinds of environments. And the wise Solomon said, your gifting will take you to higher places, will open doors for you that no other individual can easily open for you. It is not you personally, it's your gifting. The gifts inside of you, they take you places. That's how important it is to know your gift. Now, consequently, for all these individuals that I have mentioned, in order for them to actually awaken their gifting, to become the masters of their own gifting, they had to become a slave of those giftings. You may say, like, again, I'm contradicting myself. I am not contradicting myself. If you ever have heard of Tiger Woods, his whole history, he started golfing when he was like 3 years old. Waking up early in the morning. The most horrible hours. When you are sleeping in a very nice warm couch or in some very warm sheets, he was outside cold, practicing with his father. Longer hours. That's all he did. Golf. When he wasn't golfing, he was reading about golf. He was studying about golf. He was looking at other people playing golf. He spent all his life golfing, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Michael Jordan, he's old school. Most of you don't even know Michael Jordan, especially you younger audience. Michael Jordan dominated sports, dominated basketball in the 90s. I had to throw in an old school and then the newbies, who are equally legends when it comes to basketball. He became a slave to basketball because he spent so much time playing basketball, practicing until he was so good at it. You never got to see his sweat, his tears, him wanting to quit. You only saw him during his glory times. You've seen Tiger Woods in his glory times, but you never bother see what has he done to get there. What kind of road, what kind of journey has he gone through for him to be from a rookie to the best of the best of the best? Mike Tyson, he was a slave to boxing. He boxed his whole entire life. So you love the gift, you never love the man. You love Tiger Woods as a golfer, but you don't really care for him. You don't even know what he does when he's not golfing. You loved Michael Jordan as a basketball player, but you really never care for him outside of basketball course or court. LeBron James, you love him when he's on the court. Same as Shaq. He's your idol on the basketball court. They are your idols on basketball court. But you can care less what their personal lives look like. Most of you don't care. Don't even bother. So all these people that I'm mentioning, they were kings and queens in the area of giftings. Literally and naturally. However, they had to submit and become slaves to the same giftings that they have. How did they become slaves? They have to endure, and they had to actually forego so many pleasures that you and I indulges in when we are not actually following our own gifting. So many nights they had to forego. From going out as a kid, from eating this and that, they had to discipline themselves. They had to absolutely master discipline. When you were doing some nice and happy things, they were practicing their gifting. They were polishing their gifting. They were attempting to become better than what they were a day before. And that's how we get to love them for that 60 minutes and 90 minutes. They play because we want to become like them. But we are not willing to pay the price for admission. They have decided to actually not only pay the price, but actually also become the slave of that very gifting that they have within themselves. And once they have nurtured that gifting, and once they have completely submitted, their gifting took them somewhere else that they could have never arrived. So I submit to you that naturally you must submit to your gifting. You have to allow yourself voluntarily to become a slave to your gifting. And that is the natural way you and I are created, to become slaves to the gifts that we hold from within. Not become a slave to another human being, not become a slave to an animal. No. Become a slave to your gift. Because the same gifting is the same gifting that allows you to dominate, to control, to subdue your environment. Do you see the relationship, guys? So today it is my prayer, it is my desire, it is my petition that you get to learn who you truly are. You get to learn what is your gifting. What is your gift that you have within, whether it's awake or not. But can you take some time and self-discover so you can spend the rest of your time polishing, developing, spending time, quality time with your gift so that you can serve it to the rest of us. When you're serving your gift to humanity, you are more alive. You are more alive than any jobs that you can pick in your whole entire life. Let me repeat. When you're serving your own gift that has matured, you are more happier, more fulfilled than any other person on planet who can go to school, go to high school, go to university, and master another skill set that they have been given or chosen by those same university, by those same high schools. which is why it's illegal, naturally, to do something that isn't you, to pursue a gift that is not yours naturally. You waste time, you waste energy, but you become also miserable. Imagine a fish trying to fly. Can you just see the frustration? Imagine a bird trying to dive like a fish. It dies because it's not naturally what it does. If a fish tries to fly, it dies in a few minutes because a fish cannot breathe this regular air that you and I are breathing. It's not designed to breathe the same air outward. The same way a bird cannot breathe underwater like a fish. So you have to be able to understand your environment, learn your environment, the true environment that you are designed to be in, and then learn your gift so that it can flourish in that same environment. And when you align yourself with your environment, with your gift, and you actually work on you to develop, to polish that same gift, I can equate it to a farmer grabbing that seed, put it in a very beautifully prepared soil. Beautifully prepared with some fertilizer to it. Put it in there, very beautifully, put some soil on it, and take some time to put some water until it grows. When that process starts, the little seed that you see that looks insignificant, it gives birth to a humongous tree. And not only that tree becomes bigger, it grows, but it also gets to even show off. It comes to a time where now you see fruits coming. Not any fruit, perfect fruits. Because if you give that seed right environment, you give it all kinds of attention that it requires, you do not have to pray for that tree to yield perfect fruits. When those perfect fruits arrive and you decide not to bother them and you let them actually grow until they mature, they give you beautiful, tasty fruits. It doesn't stop there. Those fruits, they make sure that inside of themselves, they have far more seeds, of which enables you to continue the same process over and over and over and over. So one seed is capable of producing a forest. Understand me correctly. One seed has a potential to become a forest. I hope you understand the implication behind what I'm saying here. Your gifts has not only the potential to become a solution to a planet's problem, a planet's situation, but it can actually take you further to rewarding you with so many other things that you have ever desired in your whole entire life. But you have to submit and become a slave to that gift. You have to be willing to do what no other person is willing to do, to nurture your fruit, to nurture your seed until it matures. You don't just become good at something. You got to practice and practice and practice and practice until you understand it, until you feel it the same way you breathe. I don't have to practice breathing. I just breathe. I don't need prayers to breathe. I just breathe, even when I'm sleeping. So what am I saying to you? I am saying to you, self-discover. Go deep within you and find out what is your gift. And get busy. Get busy nurturing your gift. I am a firm believer that university, high schools, and primary schools do not tell you your gift. No. They have no idea what your gift is. They can help you awaken your gift if you're lucky and if you insist. If you are not misled by those counselors. Misled how, you may ask? If I come and I pretend to know you, and I say, I think you're going to be a doctor. When you feel music inside of you, you're constantly singing. But yet I'm telling you that I see you becoming a doctor, the most amazing doctor. If you listen to me, it's true. You can go to school and become a doctor. But guess what? You become a miserable doctor because that is not naturally you. You are not happy as a doctor because that isn't you naturally. You can be operating on someone and you can be hammering, and then they feel annoyed because you're naturally singing while you're actually performing another task. It's like a bird trying to fly in water. It can learn how to swim, but it's using more energy to swim because it is not naturally a swimmer. I hope you're getting what I'm saying here. So it is my humble request, guys, that you take the time to know who you are. Take the time to embrace your gift and voluntarily say, my hands are up. I choose to be your slave, my dear gift. Be a volunteer slave to your gift. Because in turn, that gift will make you a king and a queen. When it matures, it'll take you to higher places that only kings and queens can go. It'll give you a status quo. It'll give you everything that you have ever desired in your whole entire life. But you got to be able to submit to it and become a slave to it for a duration time period. It could be a short time or it could be a very long time. But in the end, it will also elevate you to become a king in that area of your gifting. Hence, when you constantly see all kinds of people who are successful in life, in their own giftings, we're not talking about the wannabes. We're not talking about the imposters. I'm talking about the original. If you are an original in your gifting, you need not pretend. It's the same way as you breathe. And today it is my hope that you take some time to learn who you are. Take some time and self-discover. Once you realize what your gift is, agree with yourself to submit and become a slave to your gift. Which means take some time and actually learn your gifting. Develop your gift. Developing your gift is nothing other than basically nurture your gift. Do what it is that you have to do to water that gift. To empower yourself so that your gift start growing. It grows. That's not going to come when you are literally idle. When you're not taking any action. You cannot grow your gift if you don't put any time in it. Action and nurturing gifts goes hand to hand. You cannot nurture your gift without putting some action in it. You cannot master your gift without actually submitting to it. It's impossible. Because your submission to your gift will allow you to become the king and the queen of that same gifting. It will allow you to dominate. I know that some of you might be saying, tell me something I do not know already. Most of us, we know that in order for us to become successful, in order for us to become the queen, the kings in the areas of our gifting, we have to literally do what we haven't done before. But when it comes to acting and put action in it, we are not so quick to act. In fact, we'd rather do something that is easy than follow our gifting area, than do what it takes to become a complete submitted slave to your gift. And by the way, this is the only time, the very, very only time I can publicly say I am yielding to my gift. I am voluntarily agreeing to become a slave to my gift. It is the only one time I can ever say that. Everything else, it's a heck to the no. So when I say submit to your gift, that's because your gift is you. Your gift is your life. So why won't you not submit to your own life? Not someone else's life. Why would you now want to spend some time knowing your life, knowing who you are? It's important. Very, very, very important. And it's a choice also. You have to choose. You have to choose to follow that. If you do not choose to do it, then you also forfeit your gifts. You also forfeit what comes along with your gift. You forfeit to become a king and a queen in the area of your gifting. Consequently, you may find yourself becoming someone else's slave instead of becoming enslaved to only and only your gift. That's why you hate going to work when it's not your gift. You arrive to work at 7 or 8 and already you're looking at the clock. What time am I going to go home? Because you cannot stand that. That is not naturally you. You're only there because of what they have promised to give you. Because of an exchange, a financial exchange that you have agreed upon way before you were hired. So ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, why am I so adamant about this whole gifting thing? Why am I so adamant that you get to understand, that you get to comprehend why you must become a king and a queen in your own area of influencing, in your own area of gifting? And then why do I insist that you must become a servant to the people, not a master to the people? When you discover your gift, you have to serve that gift to the people. The same way when a tree finishes its phase and matures its fruits, a tree is complete. It's done with its job. Now you and I, we go for that tree and we start consuming its fruits. It goes through all that process and none of us ever say thank you to that tree. We just turn our back after we grab that fruit and we on our way. We don't bother asking, hey, what did it take you to actually grow this fruit? What kind of heartache did you go through? What kind of rough life did you go to? We never bother with that. But we are so happy to quickly grab that fruit. And lo and behold, if that fruit is yummy, you know, amongst 10,000 fruits, there's that one fruit that has been very well grown and very well preserved that you always go to. If someone have apples, for example, or let's say oranges, and you have sampled all kinds of oranges, oftentimes you have that one individual that you go to for all your oranges because their oranges is just so yummy. It's one of a kind. You are so quick to discriminate with the rest of those oranges, and you always go for that one and only one that has your taste of preference. It's the same thing. When your gift is ready, everybody comes for you. Doors are open for you. Carpets are laid down for you. Kings and queens, they give you millions and billions of dollars because of your gift. Not because of you personally. They can care less of you, but they want your gift. Your gift is so valuable that it gives you in exchange all those things you can ever desire for. Now, there is a sad part about all of this. I was never taught that in school. Imagine if the school, the convention schools that we go to, if they had encouraged us to seek after our gifts, to nurture our natural gifts, and to serve Him to the public after they have successfully been nurtured, where would you be today? Rather, they poison you oftentimes. They absolutely kill your dreams. They kill your giftings. And they ensure that you will never join to that particular class, to that particular course that would actually help awaken your gift. It's very rare that a school will actually invest in helping you to discover your gift, your true gift. They don't have time for that. And consequently, that's not their business to help you figure out what your gift is. Rather, it's their intent and their business to help you master what they have given you as a gift, what they have chosen for you as a gift. And they ensure that they give you a certificate, a diploma, that hey, you have successfully graduated in learning the new gift or the new giftings that we have given you. So anytime you're nurturing someone else's gift, guess who benefits? The owner of that gift. That is a natural law that you cannot literally go away with or go away from. Which is why your Creator, our Father in heaven, He made it a point to give each and every one of us a unique gift, one of a kind. What's inside of me, it is only me and only me who has it. And therefore, I do not have to worry about my gifts when it comes to yours or when it comes to someone else's. I need no competition with you when it comes to my own giftings. And that is why I become a king in the area of my own gifts. Because I'm one of a kind on this whole planet Earth. Imagine the opportunity to serve everybody on planet Earth. I mean, the whole entire market is yours. Which is why I have to become a slave to my gift in order for me to dominate the environment. Me being a slave to my gifts, it actually graduates me to becoming a king to the same environment, because I can actually control it, I can subdue it, and there is nobody else like me. Which is why I feel so humbled and so excited and so, and I am like, God help us, help each and every one of us to discover who we are, to discover the gifts or the gift that He has deposited inside of us, and give us the courage, the energy to take the time and grow that gift. Go through the process of refining, developing and refining your same gift so that it matures. Because as soon as it matures, everybody will know your gifts. And you will not have to advertise it either. There's never been a tree on planet Earth that's ever advertised its fruits. But guess what? We have sampled so many fruits until you arrive to that one fruit that when you're eating it, that's it. You completely forget every other fruit except that one. Now we have ability to actually like more than one fruit. So guess what? Every tree, it's a king in that area of its gifting. It is no different than all of us too. And this is not very complicated, by the way, guys. That's how a musician naturally plays every instrument. But don't ask him to read notes, because that's not their specialty. Reading notes and playing the same instrument without any notes are two different things. One is taught, another one is naturally brought out of you. A natural musician player, they just listen to a tune, and before you know it, they're just playing the thing. I mean, as if they've heard of it many times. But give the same song to someone who had to go to school for it. If you do not give him the notes that they have to read and play, they will be as clueless as someone who has never touched the instrument. Something else I can equate it to: a proper key that is made for that one lock. When you stick that key in here, you never have to play around with it, to pray like, hey, can you please work? You don't jiggle around it. It beautifully goes in, and you just softly tweak it, turn it, and before you know it, the lock unlocks or locks. You do not have to fight with the lock. It just works. But go ahead and pick up any key. Some key won't even go to that lock because it's not designed for it. Let's say that you have found a key that can actually go in. That same very key will not be able to unlock the lock, because those teeth on that key are not designed to go right in there. That is why, guys, it is so important, it is so imperative. Take some time in self-discover. Take some time and learn what your gift is. If you do not know your gift, surround yourself with the people who have a gift to be able to actually say, hey, we believe that this is you, genuinely, not manipulating you. But also ask your Father what He has deposited inside of you. That's one person that I know will never go wrong with you. If you genuinely ask Him, what have you deposited in me? I'd like to take some time and get to know me. I'd like to take some time and study me, study my gifting. I'd like to take some time to nurture my gifts so that it can mature. And then have an opportunity to serve it to the people. When you reach that phase of serving, You become a servant. Do you see where I'm going with this? You don't become a master in your own gift. You become a servant. You can choose to be a master in someone else's gift because you're actually forcing them to take whatever it is you're feeding them. It is not naturally yours. You're manipulating your way in. You're controlling it by force. But when you are naturally a servant, you are more happy serving your gift. You can freely give it because it was freely given to you. But as a token of appreciation, we give you other gifts in the form of money, in the form of accolades, in the form of respects, in the form of position. So many ways we get to say thank you so very much for your gifts or for your gift. Nobody has to fight you over your gift. And guess what? Nobody would dare fire you. If they fire you, you move on with your gifts because it's not theirs. This is how all these players from many different kind of plays, anytime they're switching teams, they could care less. They can move to team A and go to team B and make them rich and be appreciated better than where they were before, in the form of monetary, in the form of accolades, in the form of recognition. So many ways to be appreciative. So even with you, if you take your time and you develop and you polish your gift, then we would actually naturally search you. We will come even beyond the world and just to find your gifting. There are people from various companies, from various corporations, whose jobs are to hunt for talent, are to hunt for those who have matured gifts, and they entice them with all kinds of accolades ahead of time. That's how you see players being signed up, a contract of millions of dollars, even billions of dollars. How do you come from being broke, $0 in your bank account, to a billionaire? How does that happen? Legally speaking, only through your giftings. How do you become a recognized king and queen in an area of gifting? There's a gentleman by the name Joseph. He was from the wrong family, the wrong kind of family, wrong background. But he had a gift that was so desired by the same people who would never have dared to sit with him on the same table. But they gave him everything. They gave him a whole entire nation to manage because his gift was so ready, was so matured, that they just didn't have any option but to submit to him because they couldn't do it themselves and they needed his gift. Are you one of these kind of people that we come after, that we beg for your gifts? Are you the kind of person who beg for us to accept you? We were never meant nor designed to beg on planet Earth, but we were designed to serve on planet Earth, to distribute, to multiply, to distribute, and to subdue on planet Earth. Because the same gifts that we have within us are the same gifts that the world is looking for. They're the same solutions that you're looking for, that I'm looking for. But if we do not take the time to nurture the same gifts and mature them and actually be diligent in the way we are serving them, we are never going to amount to anything. We are going to become professional manipulators. We are going to go after other people's gifting and become what they call wannabes. The wannabes are the kind of people who pay attention to what it is you're doing and immediately go and they copy that. And guys, sadly to say, my people, we are professional copycats. We do what they call copy and paste. We can pay attention to what you're doing and then we like it. Tomorrow, I'm right around the block doing the same thing you're doing. And I have no respect to say, hey, would you give me permission to actually serve your gifts to other people? Would you train me to serving your gifts to other people? And as a token of appreciation, this is what I will give you in exchange. So young people who are listening to me, our elders, our parents who are listening to us, please take some time to self-discover. Take some time to find out what is your gift. Take some time to encourage us as young people to take plenty of time to self-discover, to find out what our gifts is, or what the gifts that we have within is. You will never have to encourage us when we are literally in our own giftings. You will not need to motivate us because our gifts are our lives. The same way nobody has to motivate me to breathe, I never have to be reminded to breathe. Not one single time has my parents, my friends, or my co-workers ever say, hey, how come you forgot to breathe today? Naturally, I breathe. Around the clock. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm breathing. Because breathing is my life. And I don't have to come and compete with you to breathe. I need no competition whatsoever with any of you to breathe. Because naturally, that's what I do. How about you take some time and you find out what your gift is, the same way you breathe every single second without anybody reminding you. Have you realized that you have never taken a break from breathing? There are no vacations to breathing. When you are in your right gift, you do not require vacation because your gift is your life. You do not fast when you don't get vacation. You work longer hours and you don't care because that same gift is a life for you. But let you be a copycat. You can only stand to do that for 3 hours. After that, you move on to other things. And you are so cheating yourself that you are willing to even manipulate your way in. They call it work smarter and not harder. Go copy someone's gift and go set it up over there and then go to another person, go set it up over there and keep on juggling between those other people's gifts. If one doesn't work, leave it alone. Go to the other one. Go move on to another one. Guys, that's a lousy way to live a life. Even up to this very day, it is a lousy way to live your life. I'm sincerity saying that to you guys. With all honesty, I'm very, very sincere. I never always subscribed into that. I never always believed into that. But today I believe that. Today I fully believe that. My gifts open doors for me. My gifts feed me. I don't have to manipulate my way to nobody I don't have to impress you. I don't have to come and beg for you and beg you to give me this or beg you to give me that. Now, I can pretty much copycat anything that I find out on my way. But that would not last, because that isn't mine, really. I'm simply copying someone else's gift. And as long as it works for me, I can be lazy. I don't have to put any work in it because the owner has already done all the work. And that is why it is extremely disrespectful when you go and you steal someone else's gift without their permission. But we see that every single day. You have professional stealers all over the world. And that's why I keep on telling you guys that who you are, who you truly are, nobody can ever be you. You are one of a kind. I am one of a kind. There's nobody else like me on planet Earth. I'm not being cocky or anything. That's the truth. And that's how I know that the more I am discovering me and the more I am nurturing my gifts, the more I am separating myself from the rest of you, naturally. The more I submit to my gift, the more I spend more time in the area of my gifting, and I feel okay and I feel happy. If you come in the same domain and you do not care for it, staying for 1 hour will drive you crazy. Doing or attempting to do what I'm doing will drive you bonkers because that's not you. Hence, me suggesting to you, please take the time and self-discover. Take the time and know your gift. You are more alive in your gift, in your area of gifting, than when I come in and I teach you how to do what I do, or when I teach you my gift, and then I just make sure that you know how to do a few things. It's a lousy way to live your life. The same way a bird is never bothered not being a dog or not being a fish. It is super comfortable being a bird. And it only does one and only one thing. It just flies. And it's happy. It does not have days off. It just flies naturally. It does not care that it's raining. It does not care that it's sunny. It does not care that it's snowy. It just flies. A fish, it swims anytime, anywhere, no matter the duration, no matter the length that it has to swim. It just swims because when it's swimming, it's alive. A tree that is rooted in a good environment, it keeps on producing more fruits, more fruits, more fruits, more fruits, more fruits, non-stop. And it's never bothered that it's yielding more fruits, more fruits, more fruits. So we have to be able to understand this relationship, and we have to be able to appropriate it ourselves. And that is my wish and my desire to each and every one of you who is watching and listening, guys. There's no better gift than discovering your own gift. And take the time to develop it, to polish it, and then start serving it to the people. And I submit to you, if you yield and if you submit and become a slave to your gift, that same gift is going to turn around and make you a king or a queen in that area of gifting. That's my time for today. Thank you so very much, guys, for having taken the time to watch our program, to listen to our program. And a special thanks to all those of you who will be listening and watching this program. It would be a remiss if I didn't say thank you to our Free Dominion team. And in particular, thank you to HMG Studio and the affiliates for having broadcasted this particular program. Like I say, guys, we care very deeply, very, very deeply about each and every one of the things that we're doing here. No matter how long it's going to take, as long as you're right positioned, if you're in the right position, if you are in your own area of gifting, take the time and nurture, take the time and develop, take the time and polish, and then afterwards, get busy serving, guys. Get busy serving. So with that in mind, guys, thank you so much. Please take some time and leave us some feedback by going through our website, which is www.afridominion.com. And be sure to also leave us a message. You can email us at info@afridominion.com. Also, feel free to get in touch with us either via our social media handlers or a regular telephone line. All that information is there. We are so grateful, guys. I am absolutely humble and grateful for the opportunity that you have given me to come and share with you about giftings. And it is so humbling to come in front of you and also have an opportunity to remind you that you are a king, you are a queen in the area of interest or the area of gifting that is naturally yours. And with that in mind, thank you so much, guys. I am Freeman Singirankabo with Afridominion. Until we see you guys again next Thursday, same topic, same theme. We are so grateful. Besides that, we'll be back tomorrow with our other themes for Fridays, and it is my hope and desire that you will come and join us in real time as it happened. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day, and until we see you again, so long for now.